Paloma here from Betterment, Better Me Natural Transformations. Today's topic is a bit of an exciting one for me. I have always been the kind of person who pushes really hard. Lots of energy, lots of intensity, go, 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 go until I just stop. And in the past, I have pushed myself so hard that then there were days, sometimes not just a couple of hours, but days where I couldn't get out of bed, couldn't function, couldn't do anything. I have to admit that sometimes that happened much too often. But I've really put a lot of effort into learning how to do it differently. And that's what I want to share with you today. And actually, a few weeks ago, I was discussing this with one of my clients, and I said, I'm still trying to figure this out, but here's what I do. And she gave it a beautiful name. She said, it's like a pause. So today we're going to talk about pausing. If you're like me, you'll be able to relate that sometimes we push really hard, and sometimes it's very necessary, right? To push very hard to get ourselves through a situation or a particular project, whatever, and then we need to take a rest. The problem is, if we do that over and over and over, we're burning ourselves out, we're overwhelming ourselves, and we're really damaging ourselves. We know this. It's not like that's a new revelation, but we still seem to follow the same patterns. So, how do we break that? That's what we're going to talk about with the pause. What I really loved about the word pause is the idea that it gives, that it is so different from stop. There are things that I find exceptionally difficult to get myself to do. I can make myself do just about anything eventually, but some things it takes so much energy to convince myself to actually do those things that once I get going, if I stop, I have to start all over again with the mustering up the courage or whatever it is. I just have to keep going. So that being my personality, this incredible intensity, for me, it's very difficult to stop and take a break. But pause, well, that's temporary. I'm old, I think of the old VHS or cassette tape. It paused on that exact moment. And if you pause too long, it could damage the tape itself. So you didn't want to pause very long. Now, with modern technology and digital things, if you pause too long, what does it do? It stops for you. And then you have to go back and you have to find it again and play it again. It's not really that complicated, but it's more work than if you just pause for a minute and then press play again, right? If you let it stop all the way. So this idea of pause in my mind is so simple and it's so short that I'm not losing the momentum that I built up to get started. When you look at your day, what are the times that you are the most creative? The times that you are the most likely to be able to build up that motivation and that excitement to go. Don't pick those times for your pause. Those are the times to go. When do you need to pause? For me, I need to pause before I go to sleep. Otherwise, I won't go to sleep. My mind will just blah, 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 blah. So I have to pause, take that time before I go to sleep. And it doesn't have to be a lot, right? Just like with the VHS, you didn't want it to be on pause for an hour because that damaged the tape. You don't want your digital whatever to be movie or whatever to be on pause too terribly long because then they'll just stop it. Pause is brief. It's short. So I take 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes at the end of my day to pause right before I go to sleep. And I just reflect on the day. What did I like? What would I like to change? How do I want tomorrow to be? What am I grateful for? What am I excited about? And I take just a few seconds to think about how I want to show up the next day. That's in my pause. Sometimes I take a pause during the day. Maybe a lunch break is a pause. And I take that time, okay, this is what I'm going to do this afternoon, and this is how I want it to go. Maybe you need a few pauses. Maybe you just need one really big one. It depends on your situation and your personality and your needs. And it might change from day to day. But I recommend picking one specific time to pause every day. For me, that one specific time that doesn't change, it's consistent, it's every day, is that 5 to 10, maybe 15 minutes before I go to sleep. That's my consistent pause time. And I have a mental list of the things that I enjoy, really simple things that I enjoy. Maybe it's a cup of golden milk. Maybe it's just listening to some quiet music. Maybe it's reading a book. Or maybe you like to speak to someone specific before you go to bed. Maybe you tuck the kids in bed. Maybe you write in your journal and plan out your day for the next day. Whatever it is that you do, what are things that you enjoy that bring you calm, that bring you peace, that help you to recenter? Make a mental list of those and use those when you start your pause time. Okay, so here's my pause, and this is what we're doing. It really is a very simple way to avoid burnout and overwhelm. It doesn't take a lot of time. However, sometimes it can be so much more difficult than we imagine. So find a way to reward yourself. If you're struggling to figure out how to incorporate this pause into your day, pick the one time, give yourself 5 minutes. Anyone can find 5 minutes. Give yourself 5 minutes and find a reward system. I really like stickers. It's kind of infantile, but whatever. I like the gold stars in particular. I feel so happy when I get to give myself my little gold star for whatever it is. If it's my workout challenge, if it's a smoothie challenge, if it's a pause challenge, whatever the challenge is for the month. I do this for myself every month. I get a sticker every day that I actually do it. Oh, it makes me so happy. There are so many apps you can use if you want to do that. If you want to track it in your calendar, you could do that too. You could just create an appointment and pause and create the reminder for yourself. And when you mark it as done, maybe that's your reward system. Don't make it complicated. Make it simple. Make it something that just gives you that little dopamine hit, right? That little bit of excitement of, oh, I want a prize. I'm so happy. It's a silly little thing, but it makes a huge impact. Pause is tiny, it's small, it's short, but it makes a huge impact, and it can really change in a massive way the next day. So give it a try. Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear, what does your pause look like? When do you do it? What's your favorite thing to do? How do you hold yourself accountable? How do you reward yourself other than the fact that you get to pause and regroup? How else do you reward yourself for having done that? How do you keep track of it? Tell us in the comments below. As always, do the subscribe and like and all those things. And please do let us know if you have any questions, there's anything that you're struggling with. Tell us about it. Let us help you. We really look forward to doing that. Thank you again so much, and we'll see you next time.